Hello and welcome back to my YouTube and Opera channel on LELB Society. Well, as a matter of fact, I have to admit that I have to repeat this phrase again and again in order to introduce the videos that I create, especially to the new visitors. And we are in the middle of the long journey to complete and cover the course book of 1100 words you need to know completely from cover to cover. And this session we're going to focus on week 19, day 4. Okay, let me show you the new words. The first word is restrictive, means limiting, means confining. The verb is restrict, which means constrain, means limit. The second word is, let me just do it here because I think it's more expressive. The new words have been repeated here in the matching part as well. So, bulk. This is the second word. As a verb, bulk, and also bulk. Especially in American pronunciation, le or l is not pronounced. It means to refuse to move. When you balk at something, the preposition is at. It means that you do not want to take any action for a variety of reasons. For example, either you are demotivated or you are not in the mood, or you are afraid. Yeah. The next word is blunt. Blunt means plain spoken, means outspoken, frank, candid. When you speak bluntly, it means that you go straightforward and raise something in a very candid and frank way. And another meaning of blunt means not sharp. For example, blunt knives need to be sharpened. Okay, next word is nostalgia. Nostalgia, and the adjective is nostalgic. It means homesickness, yearning for the past. If you visit my website at lelb.net, you see that there are some phrases that are linked, and if you click on them, you will see some other examples of those phrases, which is the beauty of LELB Society. You know, there are a lot of collocational phrases in different contexts, and they are contextualized, so you can learn words and phrases in context. You know, there are some, in my idea, stupid ideas and theories when it comes to learning English. For example, coding and decoding and encoding, you know. I think they are deceiving you if you just listen to them. English and also any other second or foreign languages, actually, if you want to learn them, there is a painstaking process, and you need to go there. It's not like a pill or tablet that you take and then, for example, you go to bed and you learn English when you are sleeping. This is stupid. Just idiots actually listen to these deceitful mottos or words. So do not be deceived by those people who just pretend to, for example, give you a shortcut to learning English. It's impossible. You need to be ready to go to the jungle of learning English and actually develop some strategies. There is no other way. So rife means widespread, and usually something that is rife means that actually it's unpleasant. It is not pleasant. Okay, so let me Let's see how these words have been used in this passage, short passage selected by the writer. Okay, the topic or title is disappointment and dedication. Dedication means commitment. When Prince Schubert asked for additional restrictive measures, measure means action, affairs. So Prince Schubert, a new substitute for King Andrea, asked for additional further confining and limiting measures. The people began to balk. People began to refuse. Speaking on radio, the young reformer, or Prince Schubert, explained the reasons for higher taxes, because these are some restrictive measures, and food rationing. Ration is a fixed amount of something, usually food, water, something that you consume, because it is in short supply. He was blunt when he stated the need for personal sacrifices. Prince Schubert was blunt, is frank, outspoken, plain spoken when he stated the need for personal sacrifices. He said that, okay, people, we need to make some sacrifices and you should be ready for them in order to get out of that critical situation. Nevertheless, the resistance to reform and improvement was great. Resistance from people, it means opposition. People were not ready to assume and accept the changes, make those changes. People resisted the changes. And nostalgia, or actually getting back to previous situations, for the good old days of King Andrea began to grow. People wanted to go back to the previous state. The people admitted that graft and corruption had been rife under Andrea. People acknowledged or accepted the idea or confessed that. Confess is not a good word here because these are not completely interchangeable. So let's say acknowledged and accepted the fact that graft here means a slip, S-L-I-P, or corruption and problematic matters and foibles and weaknesses, and corruption means actually wrong attitude of the king, had been rife, widespread, ubiquitous, everywhere. And as I said, rife, when something is rife, it means that is unpleasant. Under Andrea, it means in the jurisdiction and also during the time when King Andrea was in authority. But at least everybody got his slice of the pie, they said, in quotation marks, or what do we call it, inverted commas. This is quotation mark or inverted comma. Everybody got his slice of the pie means at least we could just survive and we were fed. Yeah, this is a kind of proverb. Although Prince Schubert was tempted to quit, so he was about to give up, he determined that he would help the people in spite of themselves. So Prince Schubert did not quit, and he was resolute or determined to help the people, although they themselves didn't like it. Yeah, in English we say old habits die hard, and we neurologically do not welcome change. Okay. Sample sentences. Number one, the rebel's innate hatred of restrictive decrees led him to crave freedom all the more. Who is a rebel? A rebel actually is a rebellion person, non-conformist person. Innate means natural, and instinctive hatred or resentment. Resentment for restrictive decrees, for confining fiats. Do you remember? Let me write them here. Okay, fiat or order for decree led him to crave or yearn. For crave, you can say yearn or ask for. Long, even long as a verb means to have a burning desire for something. Okay, led him to means directed him to. All right. Number two, a string of caustic epithets was directed at the recruit by his blunt sergeant. Yeah, a string of, a trail of, let's say. A torrent of. Caustic epithets. Epithet is an adjective, is a word, is a label that you use to refer to a person. For example, you are all idiots. I'm not talking to you. I mean, perhaps actually that sergeant or blunt or outspoken or frank sergeant, which is a low military rank, actually addressed his subjugates. Yeah, or subordinate. It means those who were or are below in rank. Caustic means what can I say? Acrimonious means cutting. Okay. Words. It means the sergeant used some insulting words to refer to the people, to their recruit or staff. Although the former farm girl pretended to be urbane, a feeling of nostalgia always came over her when she heard country music. So, when you use although as a conjunction, you want to just show something contrastive or show a contrast. So, the former or previous farm girl, the girl who is brought up in the farm, pretended to be urbane. Urbane means civilized, polished up, civilized, culturally particularly civilized. So she was just pretending to be, for example, urbane, but whenever she heard country music, a feeling of homesickness or yearning for the past was generated or engendered in her mind. Number 4, criticism of the author was rife. So the author was widely criticized among the coterie of intellectuals. Coterie means clique. Let me write it. Clique, or a group of people. You know, a coterie of intellectuals who used to praise him. Used to. Pay attention. It's not ze, it's se. Used to. It means when something used to happen in the past, it means that it does not happen at the moment. So it finished in the past and it did not reach for the present time. Okay, so it means, let me read it one more time. Criticism of author was rife among the coterie of intellectuals who used to praise. So those intellectuals in the past used to praise, or let's say applaud, or let's say laud, L-A-U-D, the author, but at the moment they are just criticizing him. Okay. And the last sentence, Jimmy was a lawbreaker, outlaw, you can say. For lawbreaker, outlaw is also criminal. But he would balk at the idea of carrying a lethal weapon. Lethal means deadly. Mortal. Mortal has another meaning. It means, let's say, sentenced to death. It means we are all mortal. It means that humans are mortals. It means we will die sooner or later. This is another meaning. So Jimmy was a lawbreaker, had a tendency to break laws, but he would not do or succumb to the idea of carrying lethal weapons, such as, for example, a gun or deadly weapon. So he would not do that. All right, I already covered this part, matching part, and the idiom is behind the 8-ball. When something is behind the 8-ball, it means that it is in trouble. It is foreboding, or it is not okay. Okay, Susan found herself behind the 8-ball in chemistry when she failed to do the term project. So she found herself in trouble, in a desperate situation, in distress, when she failed, particularly in chemistry, when she failed to do the term project. What is a term project or term paper? It's a long piece of assignment during the whole semester or term, which just covers or include a large proportion of your final exam, and also score or ultimate score at the end of the term. So if you just, for example, hand in your term paper or term project to the teacher and the quality is good, chances are really high that you would pass the term project and term paper. On LELB Society, if you just click on these hyperlinks, you will see some other examples, and this is really great, I think, to improve your real English without those nonsense ideas about coding, decoding, encoding. For example, when you go to the supermarket and the cashier asks you some questions, you do not have the chance to say, okay, let me just decode that message, and what was that? No, you need to, based on some recently developed ideas, for example, emergentism and chunk-based approaches, you need to be exposed to the second or foreign language, not only English but also any other languages, in a very frequent way, so that they will become a part of your awareness. You don't need to, for example, think about it consciously. It will become a part of your procedural memory, not declarative memory. Take it from a person who is specialized in the field of language learning and second language learning and acquisition, instead of just those people who just stick to their pockets, to your pockets, as a matter of fact, to drain you some money. All right, thank you very much for your consideration, and please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube and Opera channel in order to enjoy the rest of videos that I will be creating those videos. Thank you, and bye bye.